imagine more. Stories that soar, business, life, and so much more. Laughs, lessons, and local delight. It's the podcast that feels just right. It's the Imagine More podcast.
Welcome back, friends, to the Imagine More podcast, where we celebrate the dreamers, the doers, and the people who light up Moore County with heart, humor, and a touch of magic. I'm your host, Rose Young, and today we're stepping into a conversation centered on something our guest has mastered beautifully: well-being, well-doing, Wellmaker. That's not just her motto, it's her mission. Because today's guest is here to inspire, uplift, and encourage you, one wow moment at a time. She's a published author of Inspired by the Wow Moments of Life, a board-certified life coach with more than 15 years of experience, and a woman whose journey through education, nonprofit leadership, and human resources has given her a front row seat to the ways we grow personally, professionally, and soulfully. New to Moore County and already sprinkling positivity everywhere she goes, please welcome Lucy Wellmaker. Welcome to the show, Lucy.
Thank you, Rose. It really is a pleasure to be here.
I am glad you're here. I'm so delighted to have you here today. Let's start at the heart of who you are, those beautiful wow moments you write and coach about. For listeners who might not be familiar, what is a wow moment? And when did you first realize these everyday experiences carried extraordinary meaning?
So, a wow moment is a moment that causes us to pause and remind us that there's something bigger at work in our lives.
Yes.
You know, it can be an unlikely turn of events, someone saying exactly what we need to hear when we need to hear it, or maybe seeing something good that comes out of a very bad situation.
Okay. And when did you first realize that you can have these wow moments in everyday experiences?
Yeah, so when I think back, way back in my 20s, there was a big wow moment in my life. I was at a point where I was ready to buy my first home.
At 20?
Mid-20s, back when, it was a little bit different than it is now. And my dad was going to come up on a Saturday to help me with the process. I had been working with a realtor and scoped out all the area, and I landed on a townhome that I wanted to make an offer on. Well, on that Thursday night, the realtor called and said that townhome was sold.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? My dad's coming on Saturday. I've already looked at everything. I know that's where I want to be. So that next day, it was a Friday, and at the time I was waiting tables. It was after I finished my graduate program and before I started working in the fall. And I had to work 3 shifts that day, 2 different restaurants. So after I worked the breakfast shift, I just couldn't get it past in my mind that townhome was sold. It's almost like I had to see it to believe it.
Right.
So I drove over, and it was about a 25-minute drive, and I went over there and drove into the little community and looked at the townhome, and there it was, the for sale sign with the big sold.
Oh, no.
So I turned around. It was kind of a horseshoe shape, and I did the U-turn and went back home, and I had to work the lunch shift. I did the lunch shift. I still couldn't let it sink in. So after that shift, I literally drove back another 25 minutes. Yes. It's like it just wouldn't sink in. I just knew I was meant to be there. And there, once again, saw the for sale sign with the big sold over it. Did the U-turn, went back, worked the dinner shift, got in the car when I finished, had all intentions of going home, but I found myself driving back there.
Oh, my goodness, for a third time?
The third time. So I once again saw the sold sign, did the U-turn. But this time, as I was leaving, on my left, on the end unit, there was a for sale sign in the yard.
Really?
And I thought, that sign was not there after breakfast.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't there after lunch. And here it is after 11 o'clock at night, and it says for sale. So I pull into one of the spaces in front of that townhome, and I turn off my car, and I'm just astounded by it. And as I'm looking at that sign, the sign starts to glow, and it's getting brighter and brighter.
Oh, wow.
And then I realized a car had pulled up next to me, and the headlights were shining on. It was the owner. She was a nurse, and she was just getting off work.
Really?
And I rolled down my window, and I said, "Hey, I see your townhome is for sale." And she said, "Yeah, I just put it on the market today."
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, "Oh, really?" So she actually invited me in. And
At 11 o'clock at night?
11 o'clock at night.
Those were different.
Those were, absolutely. But it was neat as a pin, and I absolutely loved it. It seemed better than the other one.
That's right. Cool.
So I said, tomorrow's Saturday. How about, can I come and meet with you and your realtor? I want to make an offer. So my dad arrived, we went, and I lived there for the next 7 years.
Oh, wow. That is definitely synchronicities meant to be.
Well, and you know what else, Rose? It taught me a lot. It taught me not to give up hope.
Right.
It taught me to listen to that voice, even when it doesn't make sense. Like, who would drive somewhere 3 times in one day?
I don't know. And then late at night when you're exhausted after doing 3 shifts.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
And the biggest lesson that I take away from that, and I still think about today, obviously, is that the plans we have for ourselves are not as big as the ones that are meant for us. That one was an end unit. It had 2 bedrooms and 2 baths, and it was bigger than the one.
And you got it for a good price?
I got it for a good price.
Well, look at that. That is a wow moment.
Yeah.
I love it. Your career path is so interesting. From school counselor to nonprofit program director to HR manager and now life coach and author. These are wildly different environments, but you said one thread has always been consistent. What is that golden thread for you?
And yeah, there definitely was a thread that followed me through all of those transitions and careers. And I like how you call it a golden thread, because when I hear that, I think silence is golden, and we need more silence in our world and in our lives, because in silence we can hear the whispers that the wow moments offer.
Right. And
it was really me listening and being led to these different opportunities. I didn't set out with a 3, 5, 10-year plan that this is what I was going to do. It was one step at a time, one moment at a time that kind of led me in that direction.
It's interesting that you say silence, because our world is not at all silent right now. I mean, we listen to podcasts in the car, turn on the radio, we have an audio book. Something's always playing. My husband has the TV playing in the background all the time. There's not a whole lot of time with just silence.
Yeah, we have to carve it out and make it happen.
Right. Silence is a little scary, because you never know, you're going to have to start thinking and facing your thoughts,
Exactly.
So before we move on, I have to ask you this. You're a life coach helping people live well, and your last name is Wellmaker. Be honest, is this destiny, a little divine humor, or did you marry with intention?
Can I say all of the above?
All of the above.
Absolutely. I'm always looking for signs and validation and that I'm headed in the right direction. And when my future husband had that as a last name, I was working as a counselor at the time. I thought that he's the one.
Wellmaker. Yeah, it fits perfectly. You're a board certified life coach for over 15 years, and people trust you with some sort of everything, I guess, their deepest feelings, what's going on in their head. Do you take that on? I mean, or are you able to let it go? How do you hear people's troubles day by day?
Yeah. I have very high empathy. So what that means for me is that I can always see myself in their position, but I don't take it on personally.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm able to do that. Uh, it's an honor to hear people's stories. I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing about, their dreams, their desires, what they value, how they see life.
Yes.
It's a privilege. It really is.
That's nice, Lucy. For listeners who may still wonder, what does a life coach really do?
So a life coach is a partner. When you work with a life coach, you're in a partnership, and a life coach is there to encourage you, to uplift, to challenge you, to help you clarify your desires.
Okay.
Figure out ways to remove obstacles, create routines that make life smoother, and even challenge you on limiting beliefs, because we all have them.
Right. Where do you think our limiting beliefs come from, Lucy?
It could be as simple as somebody saying something and we just believe it at face value.
Yeah. Like, oh, your hair looks a little wild today. And then the next thing you know, you're worried about your hair all day.
Yeah. Yeah. And if my hair's wild, maybe I'm wild. And if I'm wild, then I do, it just
snowballs.
Snowballs. Exactly.
So how do I know that I need a coach? Do I have to have problems to need a coach, or can I just use you to get myself in order or find some semblance of organization in my life, or what?
Yeah. Yeah. So you absolutely don't have to have problems or issues to have a life coach. Again, think of a life coach as a partner who kind of walks alongside you, somebody that you can trust, where you can share things that are going to be kept confidential, where you can be vulnerable, because it's really when we're vulnerable that we open ourselves up to true growth and transformation.
Right.
I just believe that as long as we're here, there's more work to be done. And there's only so much we can do on our own without having somebody hold up a mirror and say, hey, do you see this?
Right.
This is how I see it. What do you think?
Yeah. And you said several times about, you followed the whispers, you followed your intuition, what you were thinking. What about for those of us that we don't know how to listen to our intuition or the whispers?
Yeah. So that's what I can help you with. Yeah. So we all have that. We all have that inner voice. We don't always recognize it, but that's something I can help with, helping you tune into that and know what it sounds like and what it doesn't sound like.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Many of our listeners lead businesses, manage teams, or juggle multiple roles. How does life coaching help someone in the business world grow professionally and even grow their business?
So, most leaders that I've worked with, they come across very put together, very confident, but we know that inside they are carrying a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, and coaching gives them a place where they don't have to be strong for a moment, where they could just let that go, take a breath, and have a place to kind of think and gain clarity.
Yeah.
And when we grow ourselves, we naturally grow our businesses.
I like that. That should be a motto. When we grow ourselves, we naturally grow our businesses. Nice, Lucy. You've worked with all kinds of people, every age and stage of their life, students, nonprofit teams, employees in manufacturing. What has that taught you about communication and relating to others in a way that truly creates connection?
what I've learned is that people can show up very differently on the outside, but deep down, we all kind of want the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be heard. We want our presence and our feelings to be acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
We all long for understanding and connection. And that connection comes from communication and
Yes.
sharing ideas and thoughts and vulnerabilities.
Right.
And the biggest part of communication is in listening.
Ah, yes.
That's hard for a lot of people.
It is. We forget that. We forget that part about it.
Mhm.
Tell me how a life coach is different than like a psychologist.
Okay, well, psychologist, or I think more like therapy. Is that
Therapy.
kind of,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so with therapy, that's kind of designed for people who need to work through emotional pain. Maybe there's some mental health challenges. It's a lot of looking at the past, figuring out why things happened, and supporting the person through the healing process.
Right, right.
So, coaching, there's not a healing process. There's,
Okay.
where are you now? And where do you want to get to? And
Right.
let's figure out a strategy or a plan for that.
So it's more like living in the present,
Abs-
living in the now.
Absolutely.
That's what life coaching can help you with.
And forward thinking versus looking at the past.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great explanation. Let's talk about your book a little bit. Your book is filled with these small, powerful reflections. Can you share a wow moment that shifted something for you personally?
So my book, like you mentioned, it's a collection of wow moments. And over the years, I've been writing wow moments, one a week. Only one. It comes out on Sundays. Doing it for many, many years. And over the years, people have encouraged me to package them together in a book. And so I did. And after my book was published, I had a copy sent to my mom. And when she received it, she called and she left me a voicemail. And she said, I got your book. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And so, my mom and my dad, they're from Italy.
Yes.
They came to America in their 20s. They're very, very good people. Neither one of them had very much formal education, but I will say they're two of the smartest people I know.
Really?
Later in life, they opened an Italian restaurant.
Ooh.
So very hard workers. They sent all four of us children to college.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to call my mom back and I called her back the next day. And, you've seen my book. It's not a hard read. It's short. It's more reflective, giving people things to ponder and journal about. So when I called my mom back, I said, "Hey, Mom, I got your message. Thank you." And she said, I like your book. I read the whole thing. And I said, "Oh, thank you." She said, that's the first book I ever read.
No.
And I tell you, Rose, we never know why we do the things we do. And in that moment, I thought, if that's the only reason I wrote that book,
wow,
that's good enough for me.
Wow. That is so touching.
Mm.
It tears me up, Lucy. What part of Italy are your parents from?
So my dad is from near Rome, and my mom's southern Italy near Salerno.
Okay. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Have you been able to go over? And do you have lots of relatives there?
Yes. Because, my mom is one of 13 and my dad, one of 4, but tons and tons of relatives and cousins.
Really? And are they the only American immigrants or did a lot more of your family come with them?
Well, they each had a sibling that came, and they each came to live with their sibling, and then they met here. My parents.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So when you mix Rome and southern Italy, what does the Italian restaurant look like?
Oh, yeah. So, I think what they were best known for was their stromboli.
Really?
Yeah. And
Who wants some right now?
Yeah. And, they're still enjoying life. They still live in the same town where they had the restaurant. Somebody else is running it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they still refer to both my parents as Mama Rita.
Oh, I love that. Now, did you learn to cook from your parents?
Yes. Over the years, I learned from them. I also worked in restaurants. I picked up some tips, along the way. But yeah.
Oh, wow. Life is loud, fast, and sometimes messy. How do you help clients slow down enough to actually notice their wow moment?
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll say this. Once somebody becomes a client, the coaching process itself invites people to slow down. I mean, they have to carve out time to do the coaching call. And so they experience it firsthand. It's people that aren't clients. And that's one of the reasons I write the weekly wow, because I feel like if I share my wow moments, people are more likely to say their own wow moments.
Okay. Yeah. So what was your wow moment this week?
So this week, I wrote about, this week I wrote about one of the questions I get asked often. People want to know if I will work with their adult child.
Okay. So mom or dad want to know, not the adult child. What do you say to something like that?
Well, because I am a parent of adult children, I know how much I have benefited from having someone to talk to about my challenges and strategies. So I gently try to encourage them to work with me themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't always see it that way, and that's okay.
That's true. Yeah, I want my daughter to come to you.
It's like when you read something in a book and you're like, oh, I got to get so-and-so to read this. I'm thinking, no, you're the one that's reading it. Maybe it was meant for you.
Right. So I want to talk about one of your most popular resources, your Wheel of Life guide and worksheet. First, what is the Wheel of Life and why is it such a powerful tool for self-discovery?
So the Wheel of Life, if you could imagine, a wheel with 8 different sections, and it represents the 8 areas of our lives. And that includes, physical health, our work, emotional health, home, finances, spirituality, relationships, and fun and excitement. And the reason it's such a powerful tool, I mean, first of all, it's a self-assessment.
Okay.
So you get to decide yourself how content you are in each of these areas.
Okay.
So again, it's not about like how much finances you have or don't have. It's how content you are. So, it's very valuable because it's the first time sometimes people have a visual of their life.
Yeah.
When they do it and they draw it out and they can see the literal shape of their life.
Yeah.
And the other thing is they can see that it's, sometimes it's only one area that's out of whack.
Right.
When we feel like our whole lives are upside down, we can see,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like this. I'm good at this. Oh, it's only this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so how do we work it? Do we grade ourselves or do we write things that are going well, or how do we work the wheel?
So the way you work the wheel is you take each section, which looks like a pie, and you assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is perfect, couldn't be better. 1 is in the pits, really bad. And then you draw the line in the section where that number would fall. For example, if it was a 5, it would go across the middle.
Okay.
A 10 would be on the outer edge.
Okay.
And so at the end, you're connecting all 8 areas, and it literally shows you the shape.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I want to do it. I'm going to have to color code it.
Yeah.
I like to color code everything, Lucy.
That will work.
So when people sit down to fill out their wheel, I know honesty has to be everything, yet we're human. Sometimes we like to give ourselves an A+ just for showing up. How do you guide people to reflect truthfully without being hard on themselves?
Interestingly, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And I find that sometimes people are hard on themselves.
Yes, I know.
So whether I'm working with the Wheel of Life or just a regular coaching call, I always like to start with the wins,
Okay.
what's going well,
Yes.
because we forget that. We're so quick to want to fix something or
Right.
improve. So I really like to spend a little time on what's going well.
Okay.
And it kind of shifts the mindset into production.
Yeah.
And
So instead of people wanting to give themselves an A plus, and it's not honest about that, you find it's more of an F when that's not really the case.
yes.
Interesting. I think I probably would have to agree with you on that. We are much harder on ourselves than we are on anybody else.
That's right.
Okay. So after someone completes their wheel, what's the next step?
Okay, so they've assessed their 8 areas, they've drawn it out, and now they have a visual, and they can decide which area do they want to work on, because we have to take it step by step. And the thing I'd say too is if you've been working on an area for a long time without much progress, I would suggest giving that a break and focusing on another area.
Okay.
Because sometimes we can, for example, say you've been working on physical health and you've wanted to improve your physical health. Well, if you just put that aside and maybe you're focusing on your spiritual health and you start doing things that fill you up and nourish your soul.
Yeah.
And you're going on nature walks and suddenly your physical health is better.
I see.
And you're not even focused on it. It's a byproduct.
Right. Okay. How do we go from that awareness of looking and seeing where we really think we are and then forward moving action?
Yeah. And that's key because it's all about taking action.
Taking the action.
And that's a big part of coaching. Coaching is very action oriented. It does have to start with the awareness. So what I do with people is I help them think small. I think baby steps are really important because, again, people want to think really big, and the bigger the goal, the more likely you're not going to do it.
Right.
So I talk about action steps as in something you can get done before next week.
Okay.
So make it small.
And how often would you meet with people?
Typically, a month of coaching involves 3 calls.
Okay.
So once a week, and then we take a week off.
And
then continue the next month.
Okay. And is this all on Zoom calls? Or?
I do Zoom, but I also do the old-fashioned phone call.
The phone call.
Because what I find is I think I hear better without any distractions. And I think it takes the distractions away from the other person too.
Right.
They don't have to worry about their hair, what they're wearing. It's just, it's just that voice and that just getting to the point of things.
Right. And I wonder if not having to look you right in the eyes, that it might be a little easier to say what's on your heart.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you have this wheel on your website or?
I do. It's on my website. And I think the way it's working now is that people that sign up for my blog, not only do they get the Wheel of Life, but they get a series of emails that kind of walks them through the wheel.
Oh, nice. So how do they sign up for your blog?
Yeah. So everything is on my website.
Okay.
And on my website is my name, lucywellmaker.com. And so they can sign up for the blog, they can download the wheel, and they can read past blog posts.
Oh, yeah. So, Lucy, I love how this tool invites people to pause and take inventory. And since our listeners often enjoy doing the work right along with our guest, I'd love to offer 2 reflection questions from your coaching style. What area of life feels the fullest right now and why? Where do you feel a little out of balance? And what is one small shift you could make that would make the biggest difference? And I like the way you said that an action step doesn't have to be some big goal. By next year, I'm going to weigh 80 pounds less or whatever. All about weight loss.
Yeah.
But it's like by next week, I'm going to take sodas out of my diet.
Yes.
You know, is that what is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The smaller it is, the more likely you are to do it.
Right.
And we want to build on success.
Yes.
So that when we talk next time, I can ask you about your wins and you have some to share.
There you go. And so why do you think it is that, January 1st, we have all these plans and goals about what we're going to do and how we're going to change for this new year, our resolutions. And then by February 15th, what?
Yeah, exactly. It's too big and it's too much pressure. I mean, every day is a new day. You can always start over, but the new year is an exciting time for a lot of people. And it's a good time to think of a fresh start and a new focus. I know for me, I'm shifting my focus a bit with coaching and really focusing on peace.
Okay.
Because I feel like really that's at the core of what we want.
Yeah.
People have that desire for more peace in our world.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Peace in my life.
Well,
what?
And exactly. That's a good question that I would ask. What does that mean for you?
Right.
What would that look like? We want peace in our world. Well, how about we start with ourselves?
Yeah.
And peace in our hearts, in our minds. I mean, there's nothing like a good night's sleep and what's keeping you from getting that.
Right. And that's what Life Coach can help me find my peace.
Mm-hmm.
What if I don't even have a definition of peace?
Yeah.
Talking with you and learning about my wins and who I am will help me with that.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, don't we all want that?
We do.
Don't we want our heart to be peaceful?
Yeah. And sometimes we don't have those words or we don't understand that that's what it is.
Right.
But I'm learning that that's exactly what it is.
And I also hear you saying that it's not black or white, all or nothing.
Right.
It's like, oh gosh, it's February 15th. I hadn't done a dang thing. It's all right.
Yeah.
Let me start again February 16th.
Exactly.
Okay. So, Lucy, you're fairly new to Moore County, and I think our listeners would love to hear your early impressions. What has this community shown you so far?
Beauty. Lots of beauty. It's even coming here today, it's such a peaceful drive through the community. People are very friendly, very welcoming.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, and so have you settled in and feel quite at home? And is this the place you're staying?
Absolutely. I've gotten involved in my church. Lots of activities going on there. I recently attended the Moore County Entrepreneur Summit.
Oh, how was that?
It was really good, well attended, very well done.
Nice. Did you stay all day?
I did. Most of the day I had something in the morning, but other than that, I was there most of the day. 4 great speakers, made up some good connections.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Early on, when I had first moved here, I wandered into the Sandhills Women's Exchange. And since then, I've learned a lot of people in Moore County don't even know about it.
It's true. Yeah.
But it's that historic cabin in Pinehurst.
Okay. Where is it?
So it's right near the village.
Uh-huh.
And when I went in there, the volunteer who was working as a cashier, she was so friendly and welcoming. She invited me to have lunch with her that day.
No.
So I had lunch with her, and I've been back there several times. I really believe in their mission. It's helping people help themselves.
Yes.
And they are actually selling my book in their gift shop.
Really? Oh, that is a lovely connection that you made. Just wandering in.
Exactly.
Is there anything else? Connections or conversations just wandering about?
Yeah, well, this is interesting. At one of the women's luncheons at my church, we had a speaker from First Health Hospice in palliative care.
Yes.
Now, for many, many years, I said to myself that one day, when the time was right, I wanted to do that kind of volunteer work.
Right.
And, when I first moved here, a lot of things came off my plate, and I've been very mindful of what I put on it.
Smart thinking.
But
I did just the opposite.
filled it up.
Yeah. Woo!
But I'm now in training for hospice volunteer.
So, tell us about it.
Well, again, I'm just doing the training, which is self-paced. It's the book, the learning, the test taking.
Okay.
But I visited the space. It's beautiful, the hospice house that's here in Moore County. And the people, everybody I've met, so warm and welcoming.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
What made you want to do that?
I don't know when it hit me that I believe life is so precious. And I believe the end of life is a precious time. And being able to be with somebody at that time feels like such a honor and privilege, and to help in any way I can to make it peaceful.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel called to do that.
Wow. That's a tough one.
Yeah. And I'm just getting started, so we'll see.
Well, it sounds like that it's something that you're really interested in and something with your background you'll be good at.
I hope so. I think so.
You have a peaceful personality. I mean, you're very, you come in and I go, Okay, Lucy. So take a deep breath because it's time for our quick fire round. The rapid, slightly mischievous moment where we get a peek behind the curtain and see who you are in real life. Answer the first thing that comes to mind. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunrise.
I'm a morning person.
Paper planner or digital planner?
Paper.
All about the paper. You have a paper calendar as well.
Well, I actually have switched to a digital calendar, but I still love putting pen to paper.
Yeah, me too. A book that changed your life.
I haven't thought about this book for a long time, but it was written in the 90s. Embraced by the Light.
Embraced by the Light.
Yeah. Do you know about that book?
I don't.
It's about a lady who had a near-death experience, and she talks about her experience. And I think the biggest thing, because I don't remember all the details about it, but the thing that I took away is that, our life here on earth, compared to eternity, is very brief. And so what that book did for me was empowered me to know that no matter what trials or tribulations I go through, it's just a moment.
Yeah, just a moment. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wow. One food you could eat every day.
Pasta.
Pasta! That's the Italian coming out of you. Any specific kind?
I love them. My husband loves spaghetti and meat sauce, and just watching the joy that brings him it makes one of my favorites.
Spaghetti and meat sauce. All right. So a phrase you think you say way too often as a coach.
I often say, it sounds like you're shitting on yourself.
You're what?
When people say, I should do this or I shouldn't do that, they're shitting on themselves.
Oh, no. And you say that way too often. Okay, I already asked you about the wow moment that you wrote in your blog. Is there another big wow moment? Maybe a tiny one, maybe a big one that jumps out at you?
I'm sitting here thinking, Rosa, I'm connecting the dots to the book that made an impact on my life, the volunteer work that I'm now involved in, and it's like, wow.
You just had a wow moment.
I know. They happen all the time.
Oh, my goodness.
They happen all the time.
You just connected the synchronicities of that, and that does fit, doesn't it?
Yes. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to ponder that a little bit more.
It's something to ponder.
Yeah.
I love how you say ponder.
Mm.
And if your life had a theme song, what would it be?
It is well with my soul.
It is well with my soul.
Yeah.
Who sings that?
So it was written back in the 1800s by,
Really?
yeah, and it was after this gentleman had experienced some devastating events, both personally and professionally. He lost his 4 daughters in a shipwreck, and his business caught on fire. And he writes that it is well with my soul.
Oh.
You know, you talk about being at peace.
Uh-huh.
That's powerful.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, Lucy, I always write a jingle for every guest as a thank you for being on the show. Here is your jingle.
Oh, she's cheering you on with a voice full of light, singing wow moments from morning to night. With wisdom she shares and a heart always there. She's your life coach with that Italian flair.
Oh, Rose, I love that. Oh my
Thank you,
gosh.
Lucy. Lucy, for listeners who are thinking, I need this woman in my corner, what is the best way for them to reach out and start working with you?
Yeah, the best way is really to go to my website, lucywellmaker.com. So through that, they can reach me via email. And they can get a taste of who I am and what I do.
Right.
They can see my coaching services that I offer. And I am intentionally keeping at a very affordable rates because I feel like people need this.
Yeah.
And I am in a position to do that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So if we go on your website, we can find the Wheel of Life guide. We can find your newest and your oldest blogs that you've written, and then a little bit about yourself.
That's right. And even though you can read my blog on my website, when you sign up for it, you also stay informed if I'm doing something new and different, or sometimes I include a little additional message. But again, it's just comes out once a week. That's the only thing I do with the email when people sign up. I don't bombard them with other things. It's a weekly email.
So it's a weekly email. And can we sign up for the email, the blog, and not do the coaching?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I tell you, I hope that I'm making a difference in people's lives just through the blog. You know, you don't have to be a client or or receive coaching. But if you are interested, I do a free call just to see if we're a good fit, if this is something that would work for you. And I hope people don't hesitate just to try it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us about your book. You said you could get it. Where was that?
It was at the Sandhills Women's Exchange.
That's right, Sandhills Women's Exchange. But where else can you buy your book if you want?
It's wherever books are sold.
Okay.
They can go online.
Can we do an Amazon?
Absolutely.
All right. You can buy it and prime it over, no shipping, and have it tomorrow.
That's right. And it's a great format if you want to do it with a group of people, especially people who want to do book clubs but not read a lot. They want to talk more than they read.
Yeah.
It just gives you something to talk about.
Okay, yeah. So before we wrap up today's conversation, what is one final piece of encouragement you'd like to share with someone who feels stuck, overwhelmed, or just unsure of their next step?
Yeah. So if someone's feeling stuck, I'd say, keep breathing.
Keep breathing.
Being stuck doesn't mean you're failing or doing something wrong. Sometimes being stuck is a pause that has a purpose.
Right.
And maybe it's about asking yourself a couple of questions. What is this stuckness trying to teach me? Or maybe if I wasn't stuck, what would I do?
Oh, yeah.
And then do it.
Okay. Baby steps.
Baby step.
All right. Thank you. So, friends, if today's conversation sparked something in you, maybe a little clarity, maybe a question worth exploring, I encourage you to reach out to Lucy. Remember, it's lucywellmaker.com. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Growth begins with the smallest, bravest steps. And of course, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share this episode so others can discover the inspiration living right here in Moore County. Imagine noticing the wow moments tucked inside your everyday routine. You saw Lucy get a wow moment right here. I'm so excited about that, Lucy. I really am. Imagine creating well-being through small choices and well-doing through thoughtful action. Imagine becoming your own well-maker, one intentional moment at a time. And remember, always imagine more.
Imagine more stories that soar, business, life, and so much more. Laughs, lessons, and local delight. It's the podcast that feels just right. It's the Imagine